This case should never have come to trial.
I don't think it's fair to call my clients frauds. Because one time I turned into a dog and they helped me. Thank you.
Your Honor, we would like to withdraw our plea of not guilty and enter a plea of guilty.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of two mockeries, of a sham.
If we are to have faith in justice, we need only to believe in ourselves.
And the truth shall set you free!
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Oh, guilty, but with a real good excuse.
I think the truth will come forth.
You can't handle the truth!
Hello, everybody. It's time for More Law Light, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com. As you can tell, we are back at Dees Diner, home of the Texas Pete sauces. And you didn't know that, PJ, but it's right there. They are the home of the Texas Pete sauces. And
where do you think he's out of?
Probably Montana.
At least.
So we are back at Dees Diner, and we always thank Dees Diner for their hospitality. They are the official restaurant sponsor of the show.
That's right.
And have been very hospitable to us. And we are sitting today at table 15. In case anybody wants to stop by and see us, but by the time you stop by and see us, we may no longer be at table 15. Well, probably, yeah. If we are, then we've had some real issues.
Have they always had those numbers?
No, those are new. I think that's to help the staff.
I would think so, because I don't ever remember seeing table numbers.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm going to start today. We've got lots of... Don't be peeking over here at the
I see
papers.
You have a cheat sheet going over there.
One of the good things about this show quite often is that PJ has no idea what in the world I am going to talk about. And now that we're kind of through with the cousins deal... Well, we're not really through. I'm going to make one comment about that.
I was going to say, that sounded very final.
But now that that's kind of in the rearview mirror, we're kind of back to our old ways where I've kind of got some ideas of some topics to discuss, and you have no clue. But before I get to that, a couple of housekeeping things, PJ. Number one, you have a friend that listens to the show quite often, and you were going to talk to that person about being on the show with us.
Yes.
And did that conversation take place?
Well, I've talked to a couple different people.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to make our order. Hey,
hello.
Come on. Yeah, you're fine. Can I have a Diet Mountain Dew, please? Yeah.
I'll have water. Yep, thank you.
Being healthy.
Yeah, like I said, I've been eating not great the past week and a half. Okay. So I'm trying to get back on track.
All right.
Their menu looks different, too.
I think maybe they've made a few improvements around here. The prices go up. That's what always happens with a menu change.
That's right. They have a full of bologna.
A full bowl of bologna?
Full of bologna. 3 slices of fried bologna, 2 eggs, and hash browns.
That sounds good.
I've never been a fan of fried bologna.
You getting a salad?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the salad.
You have talked to 2 people about...
I've talked to 2, yeah.
Are they going to show up on the show?
Eventually, yeah. Once I guess we can get them scheduled.
Get it, yeah.
Yeah. One of them is Leslie. She was like, "Why would you have me on the show?" And I said, "Well, you have a salon you can talk about that has quite a following."
Oh, brother. Yeah, as long as she tells everybody at the salon to listen to our show.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
They're all connected and they're very gossipy, so.
Oh, perfect. That's what we want.
So they're going to be listening to it and sharing it.
Second thing I wanted to talk about is...
Is that a train?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we close to train tracks?
I guess. I've never heard a train while
we are. It's right down there. That's right.
That's right. Oh, hey, real quick. So I told you earlier that when I was talking to somebody at Allstate Insurance, they said that they were a big fan of the podcast.
Yeah.
So her name is Brandy.
Okay.
So I'm going to give a shout out to Brandy and thank her for her support and for listening.
Lexi is very helpful today. Giving us our...
And she seems new, so she probably has no idea who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyway, shout out to Brandy at Allstate Insurance.
Yeah, it's the Kent Banning Agency branch.
Okay, well, very good. We have listeners all over town, and when you tell us you listen, you get a shout out.
That's right. And make sure you share that since we said your name. Brandy White is her name.
Now, let me say another thing. Are you excited for next Friday? Is it next Friday?
Yes, next Friday we're doing
A ride-along.
Yeah, the ride-along video.
You're going to ride along with me.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you?
This will be interesting.
Got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah. So some new marketing coming out of the firm. PJ's going to do a ride-along with me. We're going to do a little videotape of that.
Yep. The reason I looked like a deer in headlights there for a second is because tomorrow is Friday, and I'm finishing up some stuff for that Boys and Girls Club video.
Okay, very good. So next Friday you're riding along with me. Tomorrow you're doing boys, so you're just all over the place. All right.
And then eventually Swycack.
Yeah. Now, did she get back with you?
Not yet.
Okay.
You saw that email though, right?
I did.
Okay.
Tammy, if you're listening, get with PJ.
That's right. Get on the ball, Tammy.
Come on. One real quick blip here about the cousins, okay?
Okay.
I did not receive any comments back from them about who I selected as the most interesting cousin. So what that means...
So they've collectively ignored you?
No, that is not what they've done. If my cousins think that they can refute something that I say, they will refute it. If my cousins think that there is one sliver of hope to argue against me, they will.
Right.
But once I declared that I was the most interesting cousin, they haven't said a word because they are all in agreement with me.
Right.
No way to argue it, no way to penetrate the analysis.
Now, has there been conversation whatsoever, or has it just gone silent?
Oh, no, we've had lots of conversation.
Okay, because I was going to say, if no one's saying anything, it's very possible they created a secondary hotline,
That
and
does
you're
not
not
happen.
in it.
They may have talked, amongst themselves. I'm not putting that past them. But I am telling you, Larry Mercer's over there, a friend of mine, they haven't even confronted me with it. Like, they could just say, you're full of it,
Right.
But, they talked a little bit about monkeypox, and they sent us some articles. And we've talked about things that, sent some pictures back and forth of some. This morning, I have a cousin that's Sarah's son, who's the big fisherman. He's fishing in a tournament in South Carolina. And, so we've talked. And nobody has raised one little murmur about the idea of who the most interesting cousin is. So I think it's been firmly established who it is. I'm glad we went through that entire process to obtain my approval at the top of the heap for my cousins.
Right.
So, anything you want to add to that?
It is really loud in here today.
It is. You're going to have fun editing.
Oh, I cannot wait. But no, so you're going to go with they're just not refuting it.
They're not. We can't.
Their silence is acceptance.
They're not because they can't. If they could, they would. I know them too well.
Right.
It's just they were all like, yeah, he's right. He is the most interesting
Maybe
cousin.
they're just defeated.
Whatever, Cream rises to the top, baby.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It does. So what's that look for?
I don't know.
It's an interesting look. All right, well, we've got a few things to talk about today.
Is this
monkeypox?
Is this also part of your secret paperwork
I got
over there?
some paperwork.
Okay.
Monkeypox, though, is first. Okay.
Okay.
So we were furnished an article by my cousin Cheyenne that was very informative. Mm-hmm. You didn't read it. I did. Thank you, Cheyenne.
I'll have everyone who's listening know that he had me bring it up, though, right before we started the
That's right.
and he stole my phone from me, so I didn't have a chance to read it.
So it is considered not a sexually transmitted disease.
Right.
But it is considered an STI, a sexually transmitted infection.
But aren't all STDs STIs now?
Yeah, right.
So it's all the same thing?
But the other thing the article was saying is for something to be an STD, that its primary method of transmission is sexual. That is why monkeypox is not an STD, because it can just as easily be transmitted through other means.
Right.
Okay, so while with like AIDS, you can get it other ways, it's very difficult.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reason it has not been classified as an STD is because it can be transmitted other ways easily, where all your sexually transmitted diseases aren't that. That's
right.
essentially what it says. So, but there is a high correlation, a real high correlation in the most recent outbreak, which is the correlation to the sexual transmission of it, that has this is like an issue that's actually front and center. Okay, so we weren't far off on our analysis last week,
right.
And but I got a question for you, and this is kind of a question that we had a long time ago about COVID. Okay, have you talked to anyone who has either gotten monkeypox or knows someone that got monkeypox?
Not yet.
I haven't either. I have not either. So that means we're either hanging around some incredibly boring people.
That's true.
But no, I haven't talked to anybody. And let me ask you this. Have you heard of a case of monkeypox in Owensboro yet?
No, not that I'm aware of.
At first when you got COVID, it was kind of one of those things you didn't want people to know. But that's like, now you wear it like a, medallion.
Oh, yeah.
I've had it 3 times.
Right. Well, I've still only had it once, knock on wood.
So, but my that's laminate. So anyhow.
No, well, is this wood?
Yeah, that's wood.
Okay, I knocked on that.
You knocked it. So what was I saying?
We're excited about getting COVID now.
Yeah, so we may have it here in Owensboro. Mm-hmm. Probably, most likely, I'd say there's a case of it in Owensboro.
At least, I would assume.
But I bet you, if you get it, that's not something you broadcast. And like if I knew that somebody in my family had it, I wouldn't put on Facebook, "Hey, pray for my, son. He's got monkeypox," right? So I think this is going to be one that's kept a lot more quiet than COVID, which could make it dangerous.
Well, now I haven't looked too much into monkeypox, admittedly, but it's kind of like, I'm assuming it's similar to chickenpox, right? And I mean, at some point now, once you get monkeypox, do you not ever get it again, or can you get it more than once? Like with chickenpox, you get it, but then you never get chickenpox again. However, you carry the shingles virus that apparently rears its ugly head potentially later in life.
Right. Let me do this real quick before we move on to the other topic I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to search known cases of monkeypox in Kentucky.
Oh, I am going to throw this out there real quick. So, one of the things that that was brought up that you said was in a lot of the research articles and stuff was that it's right now the most common social group or group of people that's getting the monkeypox are like homosexual, bisexual, transsexual. And, we were throwing some speculations out there. I said, well, maybe it was genetic, that sort of thing. Turns out it's not that at all. If you look up why it's spread among that group the most, you easily find out why. So I won't go down that rabbit hole, but I'm just letting anyone know. If anybody is interested to know why, in particular, monkeypox is most commonly spread right now.
It's easily found.
Just Google it, give it the old Goog, and you'll find out why.
Okay, thank you. As of July 24th, 2022, there had been 3 confirmed cases of monkeypox in the state of Kentucky.
And thousands of secret cases.
Yeah.
Because no one's proud of it.
Monkeypox. I got monkeypox.
I've had it like 4 times now. That's no big deal.
So anyhow, I think that closes the door on the monkeypox topic. I don't think we need to discuss it anymore.
I would be interested to know if it's something you need to be worried about getting.
Well, I mean, don't you know who you touched?
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying, like, if you get it, is it fatal?
No.
Or is it just annoying?
Annoying. Man, those pictures of that, it makes
it does
me
look
the
bad.
icky.
Yeah, it looked, like you said, it does look like marbles under the skin. It's like big lumps. If I had it on my arms or somewhere underneath my clothing, I wouldn't be as concerned. But like I've seen those cases where it's all over somebody's faces, and I wouldn't want to leave the house. And so at that point, it's like, thank God for Grubhub.
They look like characters that you would come up with in some horror film, man.
Well, it looks like something that you see in, from the movie Outbreak,
Yeah.
Or Contagion, like one of those types of films. But let's face it, at this point, we're all living in a post-apocalyptic landscape, so.
You're true. You're right. You're true. Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Didn't you have some more work on your movie at the office over the weekend?
No, that's tonight.
Oh, it's tonight.
Yeah, we're doing a callback with a couple of actors, and we're having them read against each other. They've, to our knowledge, never met, so we see them in these particular roles. But we want to see what it's like when they're acting against one another versus us.
Okay. All right.
Or
Well, good luck
someone
with
they
that.
know. Thank
good
you.
luck. All right.
Thank you.
Make sure that everything's cleaned up this time,
Oh, well, I mean, I'm.
so I don't get in trouble.
I know. So we don't get that email from Shelley.
Okay. Here's what I brought with me to discuss today.
Okay.
Before I get into it, this is where the show does talk a little bit about legal. You're not allowed to formally specialize in areas of law, but let's face it, all lawyers have an area of law they do and do well. So I can't go out and say,
Right.
I'm a specialist in this or I'm a specialist in that. I can say, a majority of my practice focuses upon such and such, in which I've handled such and such number of cases, okay? So it's obviously
Right.
a specialty. So, in other words, it's not like medicine. Okay, so you can't, in medicine, somebody's a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. They're
Right.
a orthopedic specialist, right? You're a board-certified pediatrician, board-certified family physician, board-certified OBGYN. So there you have all those specialties within medicine. So not all a doctor will be specialized, right?
Right.
That's why we go see specialists. In law, you're not allowed to advertise your specialty. So because there's not separate board certifications for different areas of law. In other words, once I get my law degree, there's not some board certification for me to become a specialist in tax law or a specialist in trucking law.
Can you not get a PhD though in law?
You can get a doctorate in law.
Right.
Yeah. But there's no subspecialties.
You still can't say you're a specialist if you have a PhD
because there's not
a doctorate.
You can't, because there's no certifying agency for the sub areas of law.
So that's what determines that you have that you are a specialist, is you have to be
able
board
to
certified.
Well, I think I'm making the parallel. Because
I gotcha. I feel like I should know this, but I don't know this.
I can't say I am a specialist in any area of the law. I can say that I have excelled, and I can give examples, and I can talk about my case results and testimonials.
Right.
And I can say I've handled close to 3,000 car wreck cases, and that kind of thing. But anyway, our firm, as many know, we handle a lot of commercial vehicle accident cases.
Right.
And specifically semi-tractor trailer. And there are a lot of laws and a lot of regulations that apply to those cases. And it's something that we do a lot. Currently, we have 8 to 10 trucking cases, going on. Some in our state, some in other states. But it is something that we've really tried to hone in and we feel that we're good at. So yesterday on the news, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a big truck accident in Louisville. Did you hear about this? Okay. Well, a semi-tractor trailer carrying beer crashed on Interstate 71 on Wednesday morning, okay, according to the Louisville Metro Police. Now, I'm going to hand you a picture here of this wreck.
Okay.
And what you see there are cases after cases after cases of Bud Lite. Okay?
All right.
And this is a close-up. Now, when it's in color, all that's blue and white, okay?
Right. That is a lot of alcohol.
Listen, this wreck happened at around 8:50 a.m. as the truck was coming from I-71 ramp onto Gene Snyder Freeway, and it overturned, spilling its entire cargo of Bud Light. The Louisville Metro Police Department reported that there were no injuries.
That's good.
That's great. And the driver got out on his own. So even though he turned his truck over there in the middle of the road, he just climbed out of that sucker.
Right. That's good too.
You can see more aerial footage of the scene below. So they had so Ready for this? Here's what I'm getting to.
Can I throw out there what I think happens?
Yeah.
Someone pulls up on it, tries to steal some of it, and they slip and fall and hurt themselves, and they're suing the trucking company.
No.
Or Bud Light.
If that happened, it hasn't been reported yet.
Okay.
Okay, thousands of cans of Bud Light could be seen along with several boxes of bottles intact after being dumped over and moved in approximately 30 to 40 yards from the truck. Police said that there may be traffic delays as cleanup crews are out handling the scene. Then they have an amendage that says it took 3 to 4 hours to clean up the scene.
Right.
So here's what I'm getting to. Don't you think that within 30 minutes, if you would have just opened the scene up to the public and said, come get you some beer.
Yes.
Don't you?
I think that...
There would have been...
is this really where this is going?
Well, this is one way. There's another way I want to take it, but
okay.
Let's talk about the cleanup. I don't think it should have taken 3 to 4 hours to clean.
That does seem like a really long time. Well, do you think that cleanup crew was asked to sift through every can to determine which ones could still be used?
I don't even know if Bud Light can recirculate them once this has happened.
Right.
You know, maybe that's why they didn't open it up to the public, because they were afraid that, you know, I don't know, but I'm telling you.
Well, maybe it took them 3 to 4 hours because they were personally sifting through the cans and saying, okay, put this one in the good pile,
Now
put this
you're
one in the
getting
bad
where
pile.
I'm going. I have a feeling that the LMPD is going to have one rearing party here soon.
That's true.
And there's going to be a lot of Bud Light served at it. You know, because that's a lot of beer just to waste, right?
Right.
If there's 30,000 cans and each can is 12 ounces, that's a lot of partying.
That's a lot of ounces, yeah. Was it driver error, did it say?
Yeah, it was driver error. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that employee is going to get fired?
Yes, that's a big loss. If a case of beer is, you know, I don't even know how much a case of beer is.
Like
how much it costs?
Like $12.99 probably.
That's for a 12-pack. So a case would probably.
How many cans are in a case?
24.
Oh, see, I don't drink, so I don't know how that
so
works.
let's just say that each is $25. I don't know. Can you imagine how much money was lost?
A lot.
So anyway, our food's here. So that is an amazing event to have occurred. And, you know, I was thinking if something like that happened in Owensboro, you can imagine what the people in Owensboro would have done. They would have been scurrying out to that scene, don't you think? Grabbing them a few beers.
Oh, absolutely.
Brings me to the next question. Have you ever come upon a wreck where a truck or a trailer was hauling livestock?
I mean, like, have I passed by it on the interstate or whatever? Oh, yeah. Chickens once.
Because I have a story where a truck that was carrying a bunch of greyhound racing dogs overturned, and there were greyhound racing dogs running up and down the interstate at full speed. And a lot of those dogs will not stop running until, like, they'll run themselves to death. They'll just keep running and running and running. I came upon a wreck in Alabama where the greyhounds were on the loose. Now, can you imagine the news on that one? If you see a greyhound 7 miles from the... I mean, those dogs run until they just cannot go anymore, and then they lay over.
And they're expensive animals, too.
Yeah, right. So this guy, I mean, you know, it was something. I saw those dogs. They were running every direction, PJ. Every direction. They were not going, all of them, up the interstate. Some of them were running out through the fields, and it was crazy. There was dogs.
How many of them were there?
I bet there was at least 30 or 40.
The thing is those are racing dogs, so how do you catch it?
You can't. Yeah. I mean, unless they just lay over, you know. So anyhow, there's another case that hit the news yesterday, and I wanted to talk to you about this one because I think you'll have some interesting insight to it.
Okay.
In Louisville, Kentucky, it just so happens that both of our stories are out of Louisville, but in Louisville, a lawsuit was filed by a very well-known sports reporter in Louisville. His name is Fred Cowgill, and he covers the news for one of the local companies, okay?
Okay.
He was on the sideline at a high school football game, and one of the football players ran into him and injured him. And he filed a lawsuit against the high school claiming that they should have taken more care and been more careful with how close they let sideline people be. I have an opinion about that lawsuit, and I have an opinion on what's going to come from this. But you've covered things with video before.
Right.
You've gone out, covered a lot of things. I don't know if you've ever worked for the media.
I've been to all kinds of sporting events. When I worked for OCTV, we had a show called Sports Showcase. So I've been to volleyball games, I've been to basketball, football, auto races, demolition derbies, like anything you can think of.
You have a reporter and you have a cameraman. I would understand if the cameraman didn't see it coming, because you got your eyes on the lens of a camera. But PJ, the reporter that is reporting on the game and sitting there with the cameraman, should have seen the football player coming.
My question is, was he facing towards the camera talking into it and didn't see it coming? Or, yep, we're doing good, thank you. He was facing towards
the field, the play, where the play was coming from. Now, here's the thing. At first, when I heard about it, I was like, well, the video of it will certainly tell the story, right? Because like you said, maybe he had his back to it, and he was 20 feet off the field or something like that. But the dude was standing right on the sideline looking at the play coming.
I don't know. I guess the way I look at it is when you do certain jobs, if you are within the line of fire, then you know that there's the possibility that an injury or something like that could take place. So you're taking the risk upon yourself when you go down there. That's like going to a derby and then walking among the horses, and then you get kicked by a horse, and then you try to sue them because they allow you to be too close to the horses. Well, horses kick people. So you run the risk of being kicked by a horse. No one said you had to go down there and stand next to a horse. You can look from a distance. If you're right there where the action is happening, you run the risk of getting hit or hurt or any of that.
I agree with you. And here's what I'm afraid is going to happen. Because this happened at a fairly well-known high school in Louisville, Trinity High School, which is known for their football. They're like if they're not the state champion or playing for the state champion every other year. So they're very well known. Here's what I'm afraid of. All these other schools are going to go, well, crap, we don't want sued. We don't want to be sued. You know what's going to happen? Our local coverage for our sports, and even in the higher levels, they're going to start saying, get off the sideline. Get off the sideline.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to have that kind of an effect. Now that you see that you have this lawsuit, right, you're going to say, hey, why take the chance of getting sued?
Could you not put something publicly and say, look, we allow people down by the sidelines, but you're taking your own risk if you go down there and get hurt by being on our property. You understand that you could get injured. There's ways around that, right? Versus just saying, we got to have everybody sign a waiver now, or...
Yeah, there would have to be some kind of a signing of a waiver. And then the enforceability of those is some very complex law. Actually, we have that in one of our cases right now on the waiver of liabilities. But what I think you do, to be sure, because you couldn't guarantee that the waiver would withstand the scrutiny of it, you just don't let them down there. Make them shoot from up in the press box or outside, or I hate it, but I'm telling you, it's coming after this, or some type of because these schools can't afford to get sued for stuff like that, And the thing is, I don't even know how badly he was hurt, and I do plaintiff's work, so I give people the benefit of the doubt, but I was really kind of cringing when I saw this lawsuit filed. You know, it just didn't sit well with me. So anyway, it's two cases that I saw. I mean, or two things I saw in the news yesterday that I thought would be interesting to discuss because they're kind of a little bit off the, the beer truck spilling and a guy getting hurt on the sideline, But
I mean, there's always going to be that one person that ruins it for everybody. I guess this is that one person.
It may, if he loses, maybe it's not that big a deal. I don't know.
How many news blooper videos have you watched where people, reporters and stuff have been down on the sidelines and somebody throws a football and it tags them in the head,
Or they get knocked over and fall over stuff.
So why? The question is why now? Why this guy? Is it just those other people never took it upon themselves to try to sue the school or sue whatever organization that,
I mean, I can envision a scenario where a person would have a lot better case than this one. I'm telling you, when I saw the video, I was like, what in the world are you? I mean, you were watching the game. You were watching the game, and you're on the sideline and these players move fast. What is your complaint? What did they do wrong?
You said you saw the video. Did he have plenty of time to get out of the way?
It's hard to tell from the angle I saw. I'll pull the video up for you and let you watch it after we go off the air here. You can rule for yourself. I think he had time to see it coming, if he was paying attention. If he wasn't paying attention, then he was comparatively faulty. He was contributed to his own.
Right.
And you should know if you're on the sideline, things like that can happen, so you better watch out.
So do you think it's a pride thing? Do you think his feelings are hurt, so he's just taking it out on them?
I almost wonder if he has something out for Trinity High School. Maybe he's a graduate of St. X, the rival school or something. I don't know. It just seemed like a crazy case for a well-known. I mean, Fred Cowgill's well-known. It's not in Louisville. I mean, everybody, it just seems to me like a kind of a silly move.
How old is this guy?
He's at least my age, probably older. I'd say 60.
I mean, if I got knocked down right now, it would take me about 15 minutes to finally get up off the ground. At 60, I'll probably lay there for 2 days.
It caught my eye yesterday on Twitter. I was like, what is this? Did you hear about the explosion yesterday over in Evansville?
Yes.
Natural gas explosion killed 3.
I didn't know anybody was killed.
3 people were killed.
Wow. Wasn't it it was a home that exploded. I saw the pictures and there was no home left.
Did you see the live video of it?
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's video of it.
How's there live video? Like a ring
From
camera?
Away. Yeah, somewhere, down the road.
Oh, wow. I bet it's an insane video.
Yeah, it is. It actually, because you don't know it's coming, it actually looks like a bomb dropped from the air because you just see all this stuff shoot up into the air, It was crazy. Wow. Well, let's hope nothing like that goes kaboom around here. Let's hope we're safe. Thank you to all of our natural gas workers and keeping us safe. I don't have much more to talk about. I thought those 2 articles were interesting, interesting. And
I have natural gas that goes into my house, so
well, you better check it.
I'm going to.
Well, from Table 15 at Dees Diner, this has been Done Lite, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, FWHlegal.com. Again, big thank you to Dees Diner for allowing us to be here and sample their food. Excellent as always. Service excellent. Try them sometime. Until next time, thank you for listening.
This case should never have come to trial.
I don't think it's fair to call my clients frauds. Because one time I turned into a dog and they helped me. Thank you.
Your Honor, we would like to withdraw our plea of not guilty and enter a plea of guilty.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of 2 mockeries of a sham.
If we are to have faith in justice, we need only to believe in ourselves.
And the truth shall set you free!
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Oh, guilty, but with a real good excuse.
I think the truth will come forth.
You can't handle the truth!